Hi, hello. Good evening, all. How are you? Uh, I am Anandan Subramanian. On behalf of HR Vidyalaya and HR Shastra, I welcome you all. Hopefully, I think currently 9 people have joined. I'll start a small introduction and then we will proceed by the time many people more are expected to join. Okay, so uh, very recently, HR Vidyalaya registered the company to provide more services to the industry, and we thought it is more appropriate that we have to give some awareness also on HR related compliances, other trainings also, which is very important for the industry. Uh, if anyone doesn't able to reach out to me, maybe or may not, I am not audible, please um, maybe send no through a chat because I'm very Zoom is very easy. That's what I was told, but okay, thank you. Because I was actually, when I was in a previous company, I was taking webinars in GTM, and there's one more good tool. It is called On24. These two tools only I usually take. Okay, I am audible. Okay, thank you so much. So we thought, okay, we have to continuously enrich people. That is what is our aim. Like individually, I wanted to give back to society because my vision is after 50, I really wanted to give back, which I already started at my age of 50. It's almost 3 years down the line. I started giving back to society whatever I learned. Only new thing what I am learning is more into technicalities and doing these software tools, how to meddle with this and during this COVID time, how to educate people. That's what we are doing. So we will proceed because we do not want to waste time. And I'll tell you why I had taken up this subject. It's very difficult subject. It is not very easy like other compliances of industry. It is very difficult. That's why I have taken 3 different slots, not on a same day. If it will be very difficult for anyone to digest everything in one single day. Because I'll tell you, this is a one single legislation which has so many interpretations, so many provisions. When we are going through the slides, we will know how difficult it is. It's just such a small legislation, impacting the establishment on a bigger way. Uh, the Indian industries have not taken very seriously, but time will come that every other industry like this also will be like another income tax legislation. People will be very serious. And the time is about to come. By the time the COVID has hit the industry very well, and first day today we are going to see only what is sexual harassment, the kind of awareness why an individual needs to know about harassment or the reporting managers, others need to know, the team leaders need to know about this, and what is the employer duty. Employer is very sensitive here. That itself is a big area. Usually when I go for a physical training in the organization, I'll even take this as a different module. And tomorrow we'll be seeing the most difficult uh, subject, that is inquiry, constituting internal committee and then conducting an inquiry. This is very difficult. How difficult it is, because people think that it is very easy. Who's the senior most women employee? Appoint her as a presiding officer and 2 or 3 other people and get one person from outside and constitute. That's all. More than that, they feel that they have complied to the extent, but it is not that. Constitution of IC and then conducting inquiry. Whether to conduct inquiry or not itself is a very difficult area. That is a big subject. Tomorrow we will be discussing that. Third day, any queries, I'll be happy to reply to all your queries also. I have while people are registered, they had asked me few questions also, that through the presentation I'll be giving it. Apart from that, you can raise queries, or otherwise I will consolidate. And on the third day, we are having some FAQs and a few case studies, very interesting case studies. What through my experience working in different companies and being a internal committee member, and when I was doing some training programs, what are all the experiences I got. And even in March, maybe during the COVID time also, there are so many cases have come up. How it is being reported, things like that, we will discuss in the case study also. So that's why that will be on the third day. All will be recorded. Hopefully, we'll be posting it in our website also. So don't worry if you are very busy. Maybe later you can see that in our website also. And today we will proceed on cognizance of what POSH. So what everyone has to be aware of POSH prevention of sexual harassment in a workplace. Okay, today's agenda is very simple. Definitely, many people would have known the definition of sexual harassment. Hopefully, many establishments are conducting a physical training or an online training. So we are not going to very big details of what is sexual harassment, things like that. No big definitions will be there, but definitely, what is the difference between types of workplace harassment, victimization, harassment, and sexual harassment? That will be discussed, and very clearly defining the sexual harassment in a workplace. Not like what has been there in the act or rules. It is defined here. It is taken out from the workplace experience only. That I will define. And the obligations of employee, manager, definitely manager or supervisor or team leader. What is their obligation to prevent sexual harassment, and the employer. I have not included IC here because they don't have any obligations for workplace safety. Their obligation is only conducting a right inquiry and giving a right report to the management for the action to be taken. So that is not included here. Okay. That is the agenda. We'll be moving to the next slide. Okay. Yes. Nowadays, it is not, no, every company will be assessed internally or externally, or maybe if you're going for a project or a finance or companies being taken over, or you are getting some new projects, you will be assessed by many other external agencies, and they will check all the compliances, whether you have complied with this or that or something like that. So hopefully everyone knows that in Indian conditions, complying with the labor legislation is you can either comply or you can manage also. That is also happening. But post compliance is definitely not a manageable compliance. You have to do something to comply with this. This is not a kind of where people, external agencies will do just a tick mark. If they really know what actually the provisions of the Sexual Harassment Act and rules, definitely they will not put a tick mark over here because it is highly cumbersome also. Okay, it is not just another legislation which can be managed. That's why, because I'll tell you, it is not head count specific. Definitely, I think one person has raised while registering. He has asked me if I have if our company is having 10 or more, but no women employees, how to have a presiding officer as a women employee. So, or I have only 8 employees. That is one more person has registered, and he had also asked the same question. So in such cases, definitely you have to go only to the LC, local committee. What you have to do is you have to have a policy, you have to describe everything, you have to disseminate these things, and you have to put the local committee contact number, mobile number, contact address, everything. The local committees, like I think Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, they have already, Telangana, they have already notified over the local committees, or otherwise a few other states they have not notified, but people are as you are sending your annual returns, there you can complain, or maybe the local women organizations. There are so many other organizations are there. Through them, if you ask, they will let you know who's the local committee, or otherwise you can reach out to the labor department also. So in such cases, if you don't have a senior women employee, you don't have a women employee at all, or if you have only 8 people, then there is no requirement for you to constitute IC. Then you have to go for LC, local committee. Okay, so that's why I very clearly mentioned it is not headcount specific. Whether you have 2 or 5 or 100 or 1,000, you should have a you have to comply with the WASH legislation. It is not industry specific. Very clear. Whether it is mines or factory, manufacturing facility, or a catering establishment, or a shop, or a commercial establishment, you have to comply with this definitely. And it is not location specific also. Wherever you are in India, from Jammu and Kashmir to Kanyakumari, whichever area, location also, you have to comply with this. Most importantly, workspace boundary. This is very, very specific and very important. Like, a factory, if something happens inside the manufacturing facility, yes, it is covered under the Factories Act, or for the purpose of ESI, it is, while they are traveling from the workplace to their residence, the usual residence, and it is called as an extended workplace, something like that. But here in a POSH Act, the boundary is very large. Now everyone knows that in current scenario, the person wherever he works performs his duty, whether it is his home or maybe he is having a rented place wherever it is called his residence right now. That is also called as a workplace. So there is no boundary specific. So when considering all these things, it is not just another legislation. Definitely more sensitive also. That's why we are discussing this in 3 different dates also. And more important, non-compliance. The result of non-compliance here has a larger effect, not like a factory or ESA or PF. PF, if you are not complying, the next month you will get the penalty immediately. You will get the notice also. But here, something different. You are not going to get anything immediately. It will take time. I'll tell you, I have mentioned that cease to be director for next 5 years. For some non-compliances, if any director of the company has been prosecuted for 9 months or more, then he cannot be a director of that company. Maybe he cannot be a director for any company for the next 5 years, I think. Definitely not the same company. So it is very serious. It is not like that, like another legislation where you can pay a fine of 1,000 rupees for non-compliance of a provision and you can escape. Nothing like that. Brand image, bad press, have a reputational assault. We've already seen very big companies have seen this. We are seeing now people are waiting outside social media and the newspapers and the broadcasting agencies are just waiting. Something is going to happen. Attrition, if regularly some harassment cases are going up, and definitely people would not like to stay, either male employee or a female employee. And if people comes to know that yes, there is harassment happening, even otherwise people know, if the policies of a company is very strict and it is not conducive for an employee to perform his or duties, they are not going to take up the position. Here, if there is going to be a continuous sexual harassment complaints are also coming up, people will not join. It's very difficult for you to recruit people. That also will be a big impact on the establishment. And as per the legislation also, the authorities have the right to cancel or withdraw the registration or license, whatever already issued, and they are they will not renew the registration certificate also. So you cannot have the company itself. Investor funding impact, many companies, if they do non-compliance, investor will not be directly impacted, but no, there will be again the bad press will be there. The newspapers will write about the company and the investors. They will bring down the stocks, everything. So things like that will impact the industry, that investor also will get impacted up because of this. Competitor advantage, yes, people are waiting like whether I do sales or business or not, whether the other person is not doing a sales itself is a big business for us, something like that. So comply, that is the most important thing what we look in this legislation, not try to manage. That is the most important uh, thing I wanted to insist here. Okay, types of workplace harassment, workplace bullying, whatever we can mention. And the definition I have very clearly mentioned. Harassment, as it is taken care by HR, victimization also taken care by HR. Sexual harassment, only IC. There is no role played by HR, unless otherwise the particular HR person is a presiding officer, if he is a female or internal committee member. They also only can recommend to the management. Okay, they cannot decide. They have no role to play if there is a sexual harassment. The definition is very clear. The behavior which upsets the other or annoys or intimidates, hostile. See, the intimidation and hostile is a factor in sexual harassment also. But there, the requirement is a sexual favor. But here it is not a sexual favor. Then it is, that's why the role played by the internal committee is very, very sensitive to identify the definition of whether a complaint has come, whether it's a harassment or a sexual harassment. It's a crucial role the IC has to play. And then victimization, someone subjects or threatens to subject the other person to any detriment. Sexual harassment, I think hopefully you would have very clearly had taken up trainings, unwelcome social advances, requests for sexual favors and other verbal, physical contact. So we will be seeing all these things exhaustively also. Harassment, I think I'm cutting off the video because it consumes a lot of the network. So there should not be any disturbance in the network. Harassment is and individual is not liked because I was not liked by someone, maybe my peer or my immediate supervisor or immediate manager, because of many reasons. So because of my age, I am very young or I am old, the other person doesn't like, because I'm male or a female, or maybe nowadays we can tell that many companies are engaging in transgender also, and that is also considered as a harassment. Location specific, I come from this area, that area, or maybe from this state. There is a aversion against that individual. Language preference. I know Hindi, I may not know Hindi. I know Tamil, or I do not know Tamil. I don't like this language, things like that. So I have a aversion against the other person. And the race, ethnic, many people, the color, or maybe I am from this group, that group. Many things are there. Disability, many people doesn't like people who are disabled because they will not be easily doing the same thing, perform equally like other people. So there is also an harassment happens due to the social status of the individual. Here, the other example, the other person may be a single, or he may be married to a different person, which that different person I may not like. So I have a aversion to this single person, this person, particular person, so something like that. So a male or a female may have a multi relationship also, maybe as a friend or something else also. In that case also, I feel that no, I am not that kind of a person. So I don't like the other person. So I will still harass because of these reasons. So because of these reasons, if I speak or written in any abusive language, or I talk any abusive language, then that is called harassment. When I see that person, I make a physical gesture, and I make offensive language through email. All these things, images which are portrays your bad light. So I'll tell them that I compare, I relate that person to another person, maybe comic person, or maybe sometimes it is related to animal also, no? Like sometimes it also happens. And social media abuses, that now it is happening in many companies. Facial expressions, teasing. So whenever they come into a group, I always start teasing only that person. I target that person. Anything unwanted. So which other person doesn't like, in unsolicited, unwanted, if that person doesn't like, but I still do it because of the reasons what I had mentioned earlier: age, gender, location, whatever. So this is basically an harassment. This is not a sexual harassment. Okay? Victimization, very simple. So there is an harassment. I am the person who was affected due to this harassment. I take up that harassment to the higher up, HR or ethics code department, or any other person, or a top management, something like that. So I take that harassment, or I help another person who has been harassed, getting harassed. So then the person who harassed me, or the person who harassed my colleague or my neighbor, he'll take a revenge. So he will victimize. So he will victimize means, he will withdraw my privileges. If he is having a power, if he is my reporting boss, he will withdraw. Oh, you told me, you complained to me, complained about me. You have taken up, that is a small thing. I just wanted to play, but you have taken it seriously and you have taken up. I will take a revenge. I will victimize. I'll not give a good rating. I'll not give a promotion. I'll not give a overtime. I will not send you for a training, things like that. So I sometimes, I'll make you, you get discharged from this company, things like that. So this is victimization. So harassment and victimization, these are the two definitions. Now we will see how it is different from sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is something very, 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 very different, where sexual harassment is anything and everything which is mentioned here, and it is towards the female employee asking for a sexual favor, sexual favor. Okay, so I want this, I want that. So we will see what are all the definition of sexual harassment, and how it is different from harassment and victimization. Before that, this is very, very important. We would like to see sexual. One person has raised a question. Sir, sexual harassment doesn't happen suddenly. Certain behavior gradually intensifies. Okay, I'll come to this, because how to catch the hints of earliest to prevent it before happening. Yeah, definitely. Yes, I have an answer for this. I think the last but two, 3 slides, I'll tell you how it comes up gradually from the scratch. So who is a woman? So I be very, very clear. This legislation is not for women employee. It is for women. Very, very, very simple. The safety of the women is guaranteed in the workplace. It is not the safety of the women employee. Why I am telling is, any person who is an employee or a contract employee, or a person or vendor who comes here, or a visitor, maybe he may be a client also. One client also would have come to your office. Maybe some visitor, he would have invited a bank person, or an insurance company person, or any other person, maybe housing loan. Somebody would have come to your office to meet you. That time she get harassed. She is also a woman at workplace. Okay, it is not particular to the employee. A bystander is here very simple. I'll tell you, I take many, many examples, like when there is a job applicant comes, definitely nowadays many parents come, our sisters, our friends also come. That time they get harassed. By the time the job applicant goes inside for a interview or a written examination, the person sitting at the reception or standing, they get harassed, sexually harassed. So this particular legislation covers women at workplace, not women employee at workplace. Very simple. Okay, and this is the definition for the workplace. Very simple. Office premises, physical premises where the person is performing his or her duty, and also the lift meant for a person to come to his office or her office. The lift is also considered official vehicle. They used to go for official duties. Any campus places, like any campus places, why I have mentioned is like people will go for a company sponsored sports, or maybe a picnic, or they go for a company sponsored lunch, parties, many things are. So anything and everything where any company places an official work also, and which includes these things which is officially sponsored. Places visited during office vacation, entertainment tour program, party, which includes whatever I had mentioned. And then the many companies now celebrate the Founders Day. Everybody will go have a big play from morning till evening after lunch, and after that they stay. Maybe they go for a celebrate a big success in the project, things like that. That also is considered as a workplace. If it is officially sponsored, if it is individually sponsored, it is not a workplace. Now, so the other one, last but one, co-working space, client premises, very, very sensitive. Like a sales guy or project guy or somebody who goes to client premises to explain or get business, where they get harassed, they can also go to sexual harassment internal committee of that company, or maybe they can go to the LC, or they can go to the police also. So that there also the person's employer has to support in giving the complaint. Home and place, now remote working, the home or the place from where the employee is remotely performing duty, that is also considered as a workplace. So any person who is subjected to sexual harassment, irrespective of the place where they perform the official duty, it will be considered. That's why I very clearly mentioned in the initial slide that it is not specific to workplace only. There's a difference between this and the other legislation. Okay, so you might have seen in other training programs what is sexual harassment. So many things are there. So I have very comprehensively I have put it here: physical contacts and sexual advances. So whatever I had mentioned here, if someone is doing on a women employee, a male employee doing on a women employee, okay, this act protects only women employee if the harasser is a male. If the women, if a woman is harassing a woman, it will come under HR policy, code on conduct, ethics code, something like that. It will not come under sexual harassment act. Men versus men, no. Women versus men also, no. So in many companies, wherever I go for a training, people will say that I have a super boss. She's a lady. She's continuously asking why I cannot be. This cannot be taken as a sexual harassment. Yes, this can be taken as a sexual harassment, not under this legislation. Very simple. You can go to HR. The IC has no limit to check this. They have no rights. Only the HR can try out whether it is true or not. Then what is the punishment? Things like that. So tomorrow we'll be definitely seeing what are the punishments if any complaint comes to things like that. So physical contacts and sexual advances, unwanted touch, unsolicited. See, many companies, people just like that go pat them, touch them, hit them, things like that. These are unwanted. Blocking or cornering. They come opposite side, you just go and stand before them. If they come, take a left or right, you suddenly go and corner them, things like that. These are all sexual advances. It's not an ordinary harassment. A demand, if it is an accidental one, definitely yes. Both has to say. A demand or request for sexual favor that we are going to see in the next slides. I do this, for that you have to do this. So you have to sexually favor me. That's what. Sexually colored reports, very, very important one. This is many people explain this, but I'll tell you very, very simply. Sexually colored remarks is it is a metaphor. Like I comment. I being a male comment on a woman, making references. there is a word called innuendo. I can tell that I make a sexual reference. I can say that suddenly I see my colleague, female employee. I say that you will be looking beautiful or gorgeous if you are little fair. See, it is not an ordinary comment. No? If you are very fair, then you will look beautiful. This is a sexually colored remark. Okay, and also I can tell that every day you are coming in the same dress. If you wear a sari or if you wear a jean, then you look fantastic. This is called sexually colored remark. This is pure sexual harassment. It is not at all required. A person comes to an office only to perform his or her duty. This comment is not at all required, and this is called very easily called as sexual harassment. So it is mainly a metaphor, a reference. Okay, any oral comments, jokes, ordinary jokes? Yes, definitely. Ordinary comments, yes. So we'll see also what are all called as a non-sexual harassment. You can see the difference. Visual, pictures, posters, screensaver. I have a screensaver which portrays a female or a actress in a swimsuit. Whether the other person wants to see it or not, it is a sexual harassment. I cannot have it in the office. I send different types of emails, social messages. Social messages here is like personally, if I'm going to send by my personal mobile to the personal mobile of the other lady, no. If it is going to be official, whatever you send, you are required to be accountable for that. Other than verbal and non-verbal, the first one is outraging modesty of women. Very simple. This has come up in the many court cases also. Looking up and down of a women employee, it is sexual harassment. Very clear. You cannot do that. Staring at her, making many gestures. If it is a normal one, there's nothing. But otherwise, if you are making gestures, stalking is unnecessarily going behind her. These are all called act or behavior of sexual nature. Okay, this will happen in many companies or many offices, many places, just like that, or in the intent of getting a sexual favor. In both the cases also. And one more thing, which is called hostile environment, that we will be seeing in the next few slides. Okay, which are all non-physical sexual harassment, very clearly explained here. Commenting exclusively on a woman's body. I have given an example also. You are a good body, you have a good butts, lips, your structure is beautiful, you are looking sexy, your shape is something like that. So these are all the sexually related non-physical sexual harassment. Right royally, this can be considered as a sexual harassment. There is no requirement for someone to call the other woman colleague like this. Calling, naming with a nickname with a sexual meaning like bomb, sexy, mal, I think it's a Hindi word, item. Is not calling by their name or maybe by boss or something else, but calling like this, or maybe talking behind her with these nicknames. That is also called sexual harassment. Cracking jokes with sexual meaning or adult jokes which makes a woman uncomfortable. So this is happening in the remote working nowadays. People are working through remote, and in a group they don't know who all has joined. And people feel that there's only male members are there. Just like that, they crack jokes because everyone is connected through audio most of the time, or maybe a video that women employee would not have connected to the video. Just like that, they pass this command. They should be mindful, conscious that this cannot be taken as light. They cannot just like that cut jokes like this in group while remote working. Many complaints have come up, and many companies are not knowing how to do this, how to complete the sexual harassment inquiry within 90 days when everybody is working remotely and they have no witness for this. And they have to go talk to other persons whether it is true or not. So big difficulties are there. This is where the employees are be very, very careful. Gestures like biting lips, maybe you would have seen many pictures, films, cinemas, hero will always bite his lips. If you do it in the office, definitely yes, the sexual harassment. Kissing here, it is not a physical one. Flying kiss, squeezing personal parts, something like that. You are doing from there. Gesture, all gestures only. Squeezing personal parts. These gestures, if someone is doing, looking at a female, it is a sexual harassment. Don't do it, or don't do at least in the offices, because it will attract penal prosecutional offences under this act. And other non-physical sexual harassment, singing or playing songs with an intent to tease a woman. So I always have a caller tune. That caller tune or maybe song will be played only when a women employee passes, something like that. So it is not necessary. I may tell that I am venting out, I am relaxing, but you relax, put everything into your ears, openly putting a music tone which is making the other person uncomfortable. Whistling, winking eyes at a woman, a men at women, definitely yes, it is sexual harassment. Outraging modesty, looking, gazing, staring, and body parts of women, specifically below the neck. This is very, very clearly mentioned in the IPC also. Pornographical pictures, sending, sharing through mails. I think I am answering a question for the person who was raised in the registration also. In a remote working, I am logging in, and somebody is having a picture or a backdrop which is uncomfortable. I could not able to see whether it is sexual. Yes, it is sexual harassment. So I have to be mindful that either I should switch off the video, or I should not have a backdrop of which is uncomfortable to others. That too mainly women employees. Okay, move on to the next slide. Quid pro quo. Okay, this is very, very important one. Everybody needs to know. It means this for that. See, I do this favor, you do a sexual favor. That is what is expected in many flows. This is a obligation of the team leader or a supervisor or a reporting manager or the management to ensure that it is not happening in the workplace. This is the biggest obligation of the reporting manager. So this will happen from the day a person come as an applicant. During the recruitment stage itself, people will say that okay, I will recruit you. I won't see other things, but weekends, if I call you, you have to come. I will do this. I will do that. So many things are there. So in return exchange, it is implied. You are not going to tell this now. So it's called something for something. A favor for a favor. It also, I give this, I'll take the other thing, something like that. I will give a new project. I will or I'll transfer you to the new project. Now, new project is coming where it involves travel to US or UK or foreign countries. So you'll be a part of that project. In return, you have to do this. So many things. So you'll be promoted. That's what we have mentioned. I'll give a special increment, project incentive, but you have to sexually favor me. That is called quid pro quo. This is 100% sexual harassment. This will not happen if the reporting managers, team leaders, or managers are obliged to not to have this kind of an environment in the office. And for this, the employer has to have a control on all such aspects in an establishment. Also, they have to give a specialized training for these people and see that nothing happens of this sort in an establishment or a department or a segment. Like we have mentioned, higher benefits. I give like anytime you apply leave, you can take leave. If you want to do overtime for next year, you have a loan, right? So you do this one. Okay, you do overtime for this project. I will not give overtime to others. All benefits will be, all privileges will be given to you. Something like that. And whatever you do, if something goes wrong, okay, I will tell that, okay, that is adjustable. That is part of it. That is a human error. Something like that I will say. So I ignore everything. But you have to do this. for that. That is called quid pro quo. Definitely, it happens in many establishments. Sexual harassment here is not reported many times because female employees, like if somebody is getting a job, and how nowadays it is very difficult when there is this for that quid pro quo is there. So how do people will go and report? Yeah, I will not definitely get a job, right? So definitely this is not happening. Uh, First thing, employer has to ensure that these things do not happen, or otherwise the managers, reporting persons, or whoever recruits a person should be mindful not to do this. And if at all something happens beyond this, the individual employee has to report. That is required. And the other one is hostile environment, intimidating, harassing. Okay, I had asked for this. You are not giving a convincing reply. I recruited you. I told you every weekend you have to come, but you are not coming. So it's like no, I gave something, but you are not giving something back. So I will threaten. I will create a hostile environment. I will do all kind of harassment. Harassment here, the cause is because you have not sexually favoring me. That is what. So I will demote you, bad performance appraisal. I can make you terminate, or you yourself resign. I'll take a false disciplinary action. Appraisal, very clearly told. Burdening with overtime. So I don't like overtime. I wanted to go back because I have to commute long. I'm talking about the previous scenario. I got to go long, or maybe even now. No, there are many complaints coming up. People are telling that a review meeting are happening only after 8 o'clock by my reporting manager, because very difficult. He is doing all his personal work during the day, and after 8 o'clock he is asking me to sit for a review. And after 8 o'clock till 9:30, I have to sit in the review meeting, and then I have to do my job. And tomorrow early morning also 9:30, I have to log in and see that my mailbox is open with green. This is the biggest complaint. That is kind of a threatening. So that if something happens like this, an ordinary man to man or female to man, female to male employee, then definitely it is an harassment. If it is for a sexual affair, which has not happened, if male manager is doing it for a female manager, definitely it is a sexual harassment. Burdening with OT, I don't ask for OT, but you ask me to give, you do duty, extra hours. Denial of leave. Whenever, even for a genuine reason, if I apply, you won't give leave, you won't approve leave. Withdrawal of facilities, all my privileges, because I don't adjust with you. Whatever is requested by you, I don't do. So I will do, no, I will not give you these privileges. Cab to pick up you, no, I will not give. You have a very bad laptop, no. You have a machinery, you are working in the hot surface, I will not give. There is no fan. You have to run around to take a photocopy or a Xerox because it is attached to another department. No, I will not arrange for something that's very close to you. Many things are there. Small things also matter. And also maybe very critical, and many times the condition of the female employees who are complaining this, like many managers, many times they don't allow us to go for a natural call. They put us for a longer meeting. That is very difficult. People are not coming out and making a complaint. These are all the things. Harassing, making a person hostile. She could not able to perform her duty. Okay, which is not the sexual harassment. Very clear. The first one itself is very consensual. So I do everything, and the female employee accepts, admits. Until such time she admits, whatever you do, it is consensual and it is not a sexual harassment. Once she says, stop, limit yourself, don't do it, I don't like hereafter, from that time it is sexual harassment. Until such time, if it is consensus is already there, it is not come under sexual harassment. But the employer can, if they feel that, okay, this should not happen in my company. I really, because of this, other person getting, contagious, he is also getting attracted. I do not want this to happen in my company. I take action, you take action under HR policy, not under Sexual Harassment Act. But if it is consensual, not sexual harassment under this act. normal conversation with any person, if somebody does, definitely no, nobody is going to question it. Friendly in nature, uh, official relationship a person has with other person, definitely no. No coercion or intimidation, definitely no. Unobjected. So I do. Many companies know, like people will pat them, give a handshake, things like that, unobjected. They volunteer to do that. They hug also sometimes. In Indian culture also, earlier it was not there. Now it is changing a little. If it is unobjected, no, it is not. Once allowed and exist, till the time it ceases, it is not a sexual harassment. Once that female employee, I have a very clear case study. It is a big case study that we are going to discuss on day after tomorrow because it is very exhaustive. I do not want to take time in this session. Very, very classic example. Once allowed and exists, when it ceases, what happened? How it was blown out of proportion by the individual female employee. Very, very classic example. Welcomed by. So she accepted and she welcomed something. Whatever you do, you do. I am okay. Something is there, not a sexual harassment under this set. If the employer wants to, if nowadays most of the companies, if it is in the physical atmosphere, CCTV coverage is there, whether it's a facility, sorry, a manufacturing facility or a shop or a commercial establishment, CCTV is there. Everybody is being monitored. If the employer feels that this should not happen in my premises, they can take action as per the HR policy. That is allowed, but not under sexual harassment. This is mutually consensual. Obligations of employee are very clearly told that the workplace is to perform their jobs, learn, achieve organizational goal, and you have to grow. You have come here to offer, you have accepted to do something for a compensation. Very simple. More than that is not required in an office. If you feel that, you will never involve, whether it is male or a female, whoever it is. I have come here for an objective to achieve organizational goal. If I am a apprentice or a trainee, I learn, or otherwise I will perform. I get my salary. That's all. I grow. That's all. Organization grows. I also grow. That is the objective. Otherwise, if you feel otherwise, it is very, very difficult. So any male employee, they should know the limits, and the female employee, they should know how to deal with the sexual harassment. Other harassment, definitely, you can anyway take up. You have to deal with sexual harassment. It is little difficult. Okay, a male employee understand the follow company policy and procedures, because any company policy and procedures nowadays, it will have this sexual harassment as a misconduct. If any companies have missed it out, immediately you include this. It is compulsory that you have to include this, or otherwise you have a separate anti-sexual harassment policy. No pun, double meaning language. Don't speak in that language. Be friendly, normal conversation. You have a kind of a physical distance with that female. There is nothing, no problem with that. Be watchful, pay attention to co-workers and avoid inadvertent. Just like that, if you're slip of tongue, many things will happen. Nowadays it is happening, after people are very social network. Whatever they see, they wanted to try out, make a trial. They are doing it outside. So that is not required in the office. For the female employee, lack of response is approval. That's what. Once you allow it exists, then it is not a sexual harassment. Suddenly you cannot wake up and tell that, I don't like this. You should have told on the other day itself. The other person will tell that you have already allowed me. I thought it is okay for you. That's what. So you have not said stop, limit. I don't like this. This is what, that kind of a response is there. If you don't do that, then they take it as an approval. And seeing this, the other person also, this is also contagious. So one person does this, the other person also try to do that. It becomes a different thing. Delay increases probability. So that's very, very clear. Report immediately, or make that individual to stop that action or a behavior to get stopped immediately. Otherwise, if you delay, it will increase. Ask for help. Don't hesitate. With your reporting team member or your colleague, or maybe many companies have a women forum, women committee. or otherwise you can go to IC committee is everywhere there now. It is very conscious. Many establishment already displayed overall the IC members. You can reach out, knock out. So, and this is what is happening. Many companies that many people do not want to report, get victimized because they feel they may be punished, or maybe they feel something else will happen, and they resign, or they wait, where's the time I can resign and go switch to the job. I really do not wanted to take this to other level, things like that. Don't do that. The supervisor, team leader, manager, these obligations like prevent creating. We have very clearly discussed hostile environment. Don't make quid pro quo. Don't make humiliating treatment. Also should not happen in any workplace. So while you are working for a project and you have a team working for you, under you, don't point out mistakes in our work, even if it is done in a correct manner. That this is a hostile work environment. So like, she will be doing a right one, but because she is not sexually favoring me, I will always point out mistakes, even if it is correct. Don't do that. Purposely not giving her lunch break, not allowing her to go for a bio break. That's what I already very clearly mentioned. This happens. Many complaints have come. It become a classic example in many companies. Stretched meetings for 4 or 5 hours. They will not even be allowed for the natural call bio break. Making no exposing her to make a dangerous work. So few things nowadays they are also changing their attitudes to any work, every other work. This is basically in manufacturing facility. Few are prohibited work. Even that way they were asked to do because you are making a hostile environment because he is not sexually favoring you. Purposely make her to do work by doing which she will feel insulted or which will create fear in her mind. So she may feel that insecure whether the penultimate day or the final day I have to finish the project. You will make her know this is that's what the responsibility is given to the accountable. Your account. Anything goes wrong, you will be put into trouble. I am not going to. You will be no answerable to every project manager. Things like that. So many things. You will put into pressure. If it's a normal one, or she is you are very friendly, or she has accepted your sexual favor, you yourself will do something. Assist and with other team members, and you make every team work for that one. But if you really wanted to make a hostile environment, you put her into a hotspot, make her doing the insultative things like this, creating a fear. This is a hostile work environment, humiliating treatment. If she is not obliging to the sexual favors, shouting at her or insulting her in front of her colleagues, this remark I'll very clearly mention. Yes, very recently there is a judgment from Honorable High Court. Shouting at a female employee to get work is not sexual harassment, very clearly. But here, why I again still mentioned insulting her, shouting at her and insulting her. It is not only to get the work done, but hidden agenda is she is not sexually favored. That's why I have mentioned here the first point. If it is pure getting work out of that individual employee, it is allowed. Otherwise, you have a hidden agenda, sexual harassment will definitely applicable. Making her to attend very long meetings under pretext of counseling. So unnecessarily, the reporting managers will talk like anything. They give lectures 4 hours, 5 hours. They may have many other things. You have to appreciate the privacy of the other person also. That kind of a freedom will not be given. That is humiliating and the other individual. Constantly demoralizing her by passing false remarks, threatening to cause physical harm. This definitely happens in many manufacturing facilities. Any similar acts amounting to mental harassment due to which women may become sick physically or mentally. So, the reporting managers or the team leaders or supervisors ensure your team does perform towards achieving the organizational goal that is required. That is the only thing which whether you as a reporting manager or they as a project team member, they have come. Besides ensuring right atmosphere for every employee, that is also the individual employee can only perform. Creating a right atmosphere, it is in the hands of the project manager or a team leader or supervisor, whoever it is. That is the duty obligation. Then it is a very smooth environment. Everybody comes, love to come and to do their work. Instill a culture that is should be there from the management also in an organization, that every individual engaged in is involved, accountable in creating, contributing to. So, see, it is not only I am doing my duty, I will go, that's all. Something happens to my neighbor or my colleague or the peer group member, I am unmindful of that. I am not going to do anything. Let them suffer. What is there? If I involve myself, that will be difficult for me. So it should not be there. It should be a culture around the organization. So everyone has to help each other to put the organization so that there should be a smooth atmosphere for everyone to come and perform their duty. So this is the obligation of the supervisor, TLs or managers or whoever it is. And this is the biggest question I always been posed to me when I go for a big training. So why men needs to get training when the legislation is to cover only women? Definitely yes. The biggest answer is if only women are going to be there, it is not going. This one, yeah, legislation is not going to applicable. Only men is going to be there. Still, the legislation is going to be applicable. Sorry, in the first case also, it will be applicable. I'll tell an example. There is a in registration. There is a question. Somebody has raised a query. We have only male employees. So why should and we don't have a female employee? How can we constitute a internal committee? Then you have to go for a LC. Still, the other this not from this same question. Many people have asked, no, we have only male employees. We don't have any other female employee to harass. Why should we have a IC committee, or no? We have to follow the sexual harassment policy. I said very clearly. Please go through the definition of the women, agreed women. It is not only the women employee, it is women. Whoever comes in. So you're all male employees. Some woman comes here. Something happens to her, then that the internal committee has to take, or the LC committee has to take up the complaint. So something has to be there. So where big garment industries, only female employees will be there, and they feel that why should we have only female employees are there? If they are not going to harass. If they get harassed, we have HR policy. No, nothing like that. Sometimes the senior management male employee may be there, management employee will be there, or a vendor will come. Merchandiser will come, or any visitor will come. In such cases, if he harasses or any other person, male harasses, what will happen? So whether you have only male employee or only female employee, you should definitely have. Then training also, where a women are at the receiving end, the presumed offense would have been caused only by men. See, if it is by I have very clearly mentioned, if it is female to female, HR policy, female to male, it is HR policy. Only if it is men to women, the male to female, then it comes under this legislation. If it is a women to women, very clearly I mentioned this one. Hence, men are also needing to be trained regularly. They should know what is normal conversation, what is the other than that, which will indicate that there is a sexual harassment context here. I'll be showing one single slide. It is particular for both the men and women. Very clearly mentioned why I have to behave like this. This second one. They are going to get trained regularly to get to know how to behave in a workplace where a woman is also performing. In addition to what needs not to be done, men should also know what they must do to ensure safe workplace for women. So what to do, what not to do, you should know. That's why men are also required to attend the training program. Please attend, enrich yourself. Okay. Any success of any awareness program, at the end of the awareness program, male employees should feel that, oh, I am afraid. Whatever I do, so far I was doing, I think it is considered as a sexual harassment, and I am afraid some female employee wantonly or unwantedly she may take up the case. Will go. See, I'll tell you, malicious complaint is also punishable. If some women employee give a malicious complaint, it has an equal punishment. So don't worry about that. If you're very clear, not doing any other act or behavior other than what is required to do in an office, don't worry about that. So after an awareness program, if it is a good awareness program, this should happen. Or maybe some other will say, okay, I am clear now. I know hereafter how to behave, what I have to do henceforth. I'll be very careful. I won't touch. I won't go near to that. I know I want to put a ringtone, no, which is not no, good enough when people are passing out. Or maybe hereafter I don't have a color tune at all, something like that. So those things they will learn. I will mind my work hereafter. So hereafter, I'm not going to unnecessarily go gossip, do something like that. So at the end of the awareness program, female employees should feel. So this is how the program should be. So I know this before. Okay, I was knowing this. These are all the things I know. I will be very careful. So now I know that, and now I refreshed with this program. And few will say that, oh, this is new. Oh, if the other day that person was doing like this, but I didn't realize that. Hereafter, if he does like that, then I will take up to the internal committee, something like that. So it is new and exacting now. Now I should have known this before. I would have taken that. I missed something like that. So for such women employees, if it happens again, immediately take it to IC committee or talk to the person. Say stop, limit yourself. Something like that. Also, you can always say. Sorry. Both should feel I will ensure smooth and safe workplace henceforth. Both should feel I always work to ensure smooth and so they have to ensure and they have to work towards the smooth and safe workplace for both, not only for women employees. Okay, I think I have some few other questions. I'll just take up with passing an Article 317 that recognizes LG. Why hasn't POSH has been amended? So I'll tell you. The POSH Act itself, took somewhere around 9 to 12 years, more than that, I believe. So it will take LGBT community recognition. It will take time. Very recently, they have come out with Transgender Act that has already been passed. The rules are also come. LGBT, it will take time. They have running out of time to implement the code on wages, code on social security, code on industrial relations, so many things. Hopefully, it will take time. Can an aggrieved person report initially to HR? No. Aggrieved women employee should not knock the doors of HR. It is confidential. If at all it reports to HR, then immediately HR should take that person to IC. They should not. It is better not employee. No, don't do that. Not employee, lady for employment. Now, that's what I very clearly told. Even if there is only a male employees, if there is a women visitor or maybe anybody who, vendor, somebody comes as a woman, if something happens, that will also be difficult. Don't do that. As it is, because of Maternity Act, many employers are discouraging engagement of women employees. That is also being considered by the government nowadays. So employer be very, very cautious. Whether directors only be nominated as employer or any senior employee can be nominated employer. No, it is only the director. Employer means it is the director only, or maybe you can nominate the HR person usually, but anything and everything will, the punishment will be only to the directors or partners or the proprietor who has been registered with MCA. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. Major obligations of employer: create an atmosphere to treat others with dignity and respect. So it is obligation of the employer, definitely. So it is a conducive atmosphere for everyone to perform their duty. Periodical programs for existing employees, new joinees. So now people will say that, okay, I have a POSH program, awareness program. Either it should be online or once in 6 months, that's all. So if a new joinee joins in July, the program is in January and June. If the new joinee joins in July, he may not attend the program. He'll join only in the next January. So it should not be like that. As and when a person joins, it should be part of orientation on onboarding program. So many big factories I have seen as a visitor. No, I myself went for a post program. I was asked to sit for 5 minutes. I was explained what is sexual harassment, things like that. Yes, I will also learn many things. So after I complete that, then only I have been issued a pass to go inside. That is also good. They've done a very good job. For employees who visit other places, definitely. So nowadays, it's not like, you are restricted only to your premises. Many projects happens, your employees are working in other organizations too, altogether for 6 months, 10 months, many softwares are machine erection engineering, many things you go to other offices or maybe sales, marketing or servicing, many people are going. So how you have to behave in the other offices. Those kinds of training also should be regular. Environment for multicultural cultural means here belief. So I believe, as someone is asking me, LGBT is a culture there in US and other many other countries. Here it is not very clear. No, those kind of an environment they have to create here. I am an Hindu. I am a Christianity. I don't believe in any religion. So all such people have to come for a common goal, organizational goal. We have to achieve only to that. My belief should not affect the performance of the other person. Customs. And many things I can give example, but I'm running out of time. Customs, ethnic, multi-generational, they're very difficult. So nowadays, managing these people who are joining as a new joining, and people are working, the senior management or people at the middle level, the aged person, working with the generation, very difficult. The performance is becoming challengeful, and sometimes the deliverables are getting delayed. So employer has to ensure that because of this, there should not be any this kind of misconduct, which is a sexual harassment should happen. Multi-skill set. I can work many other things. So it is cross-functional work. And because of that, there should not be any challenge in the misconduct. So like sexual harassment, things like that. So these because of this, the obligation of the employer is more. So ensuring and having a right IC and seeing that there is no brand reputation hazard, that is also there. A subtle form of messaging continuously for sexual harassment as a misconduct. They have to regularly inform. They should have a maybe many companies they don't have a regular program like online program or physical 2 hours 3 hours programs. HR or other people will be there around. When people come for a cup of coffee, they will have a site track. 5 minutes. They will ask whether you have any grievance or something like that, how to behave, things like that. You are doing like that the other way we have seen, or you don't do that. Pep talks, something like that. It always happens. So now people also, organizations, employers also are changing themselves. Why should we should have a kind of a regular program where people are not attending? We can develop people so that awareness is there. That something is not going to happen. Recurrent sessions with the reporting manager, supervisor, team leaders on prohibiting creation of hostile environment on the workplace, atmosphere which enables quid pro quo. Any behavior or attitudes which is unwelcome, not abiding by the code of conduct. So ensuring the HR policy of a company, ban power play. So I have the power to recommend promotion or increment or any travel or training or maybe anything. So you have to do that. So that kind of power play should not be there. It should not be given to only one person. Management should be very, very conscious not giving such kind of a power play to a person who will be demanding sexual favors, which will spoil the entire organizational brand name. That is also there. And obligation here, constitute internal committee and notify. It's not only constituting, you have to notify, display, disseminate information, support complainant in submitting complaint in case required, manufacturing facility. This is the biggest requirement everybody is requiring. Ensure timeline for inquiry process. That is 90 days, and nowadays with the remote working, it is very difficult. Provide necessary facilities to internal committee for dealing with complaint and the conducting the inquiry. My God, I'm running out of time already. I'll rush and give only few more slides. So most powerful weapon against sexual harassment is awareness. Repeatedly telling that awareness is like, tell them that don't do this. Whether what you have to do, this kind of awareness should be there. You have to display it and you have to disseminate. This is what is required through HR policy, code of conduct, or if you are a manufacturing field, many other companies have started getting the standing orders also. Mention that and display continuously. Tell them you have an anti-sexual harassment policy and tell them very clearly that this is the punishment if you are going to do this. Disapprove sexual harassment on the workplace. Prohibit harasser. So if you don't take action on the harasser now, the other people will get emboldened and they will also start doing that. So prohibiting harasser in multi numbers. Treat this as a misconduct. It is not an okay, just chalega, okay, do this, okay, don't do the next time, okay, something like that, don't do. Ensure safety of every person. It is not only the individual women employee, every person, and give punishment, whether it's a small one or something like that, withholding of an increment, issuing a show cause notice, anything and everything you have to do that. Okay, I have consolidated this as an employer duty. So this is what we have already discussed. It is prevention, provision, redressal, and ensuring a secured workplace. It is only comprehensive of what we have seen in the previous slides. If someone really needs this, I will definitely share the, like to share the PowerPoint also. Please write to me. You have my email ID also, our company's email ID. So only this one, remote working precautions. This is what many people are asking nowadays. Stick to work timings. Accept client calls after working hours only if you feel as a women employee. Otherwise, don't take. Nobody can punish you. Avoid video calls. Always avoid. Or when it is not required, please avoid. After office hour, do not turn on video. And when you feel that you are unsafe, don't turn on video. Ensure this is for women employee. Ensure everything is right around you when you switch on. This is for both male and female. So if I have something like on my backdrop, it will be uncomfortable to others. Right while I will be made a respondent for a sexual harassment case. Restrict the view only to the face. Do not oblige full body surroundings around. This is a very classic complaint. Very recently it has come up. A person asked a women colleague to come closer, or go back. I could not able to your physical body. He immediately complained, switched off video and immediately complained. Now the other person was crying because he may lose a job during COVID time. If anyone demands that you should come closer and move visibly, raise a complaint. It is already done. If you find any unwelcome poster picture in participant's computer or backdrop, raise immediately. This is what asked in the during registration as a question. Do not send or invite any comments except which is official, whether it is through email or any official social media message. Do not toggle with too many windows. People will be seeing something else. Suddenly they will be asked. They were looking at that. Suddenly they will change to the other window. Maybe something maybe not required will be there. Then it will be very difficult. Make sure you open the required site. Do not attend official calls through social media network. Your personal info can get leaked. Basically, this is for women employees. For others, normal one. So don't do that. Respect the privacy of every participant. The last one we have, I think we have discussed. Women employees felt that their managers do not have basic courtesy of limiting review meetings, client calls before 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. So female employees feel very, very unsafe. They have their house domestic chores to do, and this has come as a big complaint. This has to be recognized by the employers. Many males are telling that while I am applying, when I am doing the call, taking the call, why she could not able to? We are getting the same salary, right? Something like that. Employers do not encourage these kind of things. this is very genuine complaint grievance coming from the women employees. It will give a bad reputation to your establishment. Don't encourage this one. Apart from exceptional case, yes, definitely yes. Otherwise, if it is going to be a client call where the client is in US, they'll come only at 9 o'clock. The person knows that, then she can take a call because he agreed to do that job. Something like that. Something is already pre-agreed. Definitely yes. Otherwise, not required. Review meeting, the whole day he'll be busy with something else. Why review meeting after 8 o'clock? Okay, this is the one what I was mentioning in my previous one. Intent and impact. So as a male employee, my intention during the act and behavior is something different, but it has impacted as a sexual harassment. I commented on my fellow employee just like that. On no, she is wearing a sari or she is doing something, but she had taken up something different. If she has taken up as a sexual harassment, definitely it is assessed. So that's where you have to behave yourself. You need to know what is the office atmosphere, how to behave yourself when you are working in a group. Okay. So commenting on, so intent will be different, impact will be different. Invasion of personal space. So I just like that talked about our personal family history, something like that in a group, which she may not would have liked. Getting work done. I would have shouted in a different way, telling so many things in the interest of that individual employee to complete the work, but the impact would have been different. Gossiping about I told in the right manner only, but she had taken in a different way. Request for outing, just like that. No, I asked many other team members. I asked she also as a team member, but the impact on that individual employee is something different. Consensual relationship. So I told her that I will drop her to the railway station or the airport because something is not there. She was taken in a different way. Physical touches. So just like that, I was going on that day. I touched. I have no impact in my mind. The intention is something stalking. She was also going. I was also going. Something like that. So the intent will be different. The impact will be different. So you have to be mindful when doing some act or behavior in the workplace. Sending unsolicited messages in the social media, that is also there. So quickly, what a women employee has to do, this is required for the IC committee members also. If you feel that physically or emotionally uncomfortable around in a workplace, and you feel sexually harassed, you feel that this is kind of a sexual, whether I know or not this, I feel that is a sexual harassment, and I feel sexually insulted, or any message or something like that it came, and which I don't like, unwelcome, or something was not okay. I didn't ask for that, but he was doing like this to me, and I didn't expect this from him, which is repeatedly happening. Even after I'm saying that don't do, I don't like, stop this, this is the limit, something like that, irrespective of that he said being, then it is the time for you to go to IC committee. IC committee is not there, LC committee, or otherwise you can even go to the police, or otherwise you can go to the she box also. If your employer does not have an IC, you can go to the she box and make a complaint, which goes to the government of India, and it will be routed through your other state, and through your state to the employer, and you can make a complaint. So while you are making a complaint, you have to be very, very, it is basically for the internal committee and basically for the women employees. If someone really wants to take this, maybe take a screenshot. Otherwise, you can write it to me. I will share this entire slide also, I can share it. So what all should be there with such details, so that your complaint will not be seen as a malicious complaint, and whatever you want to get after reporting this complaint, you will get it. So if you have everything I have mentioned here, definitely I don't have time. I really do not want to take your time. This entire thing is very clearly mentioned here. Very clearly, if you could be able to give all such details, definitely your complaint will be successful. Even otherwise, you can give a complaint, but making it more successful, you should have this one. So whether you may have all these details, you may not have, and also something like that. Now people are working remotely; they may not have anything of this one. Maybe one or two If somebody is there group, I have not recorded no the meeting also, or the other person who was a witness, he will even immediately he will not support me, things like that. Even otherwise you make a complaint. If you feel uncomfortable, sexually insulted, sexually harassed, if you feel, immediately you have to take it. Okay, this is what I wanted to take up. I think we have come to the end of the session. I think I have taken time, so some people have left. I will see whether any other questions here. Yes, we can get this presentation. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I will definitely share all the three put together, and I will share this to every participant who have participated here. Thank you very much for your time. I have taken much more half an hour extra. Thanks for your time. Whoever is interested to come and join tomorrow, please come and join. Thank you. Thank you so much.